Are we ready?
Make it happen.
Yep.
Regular monthly meeting of the Anderson County Board of Education will come to order. Recognition of guests,
Let's do that.
above and beyond.
Let's do the pledge.
We used to play.
Oh, okay. Getting ahead of us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now do the pledge.
Now, recognition of guests.
Thank you, Dr. Burrow. Tonight, we are part of the Above and Beyond Award. We're going to be recognizing one of our school nurses and one of our secretaries and bookkeepers, and also our federal project secretary. So if we'll see who wants to start first. All right.
I'm more than happy to celebrate Miss Annette. So Annette's been with our district since 2000, so she's been with us for 19 years, but she's been with me personally since 2007. And I can't say enough nice, great things about her. She is more than my administrative assistant. She is my family. And so we've been through it all together. Y'all could do without me, you can never do without her, I promise you. I mean, Dr. Parrott, you've experienced
Yes,
that.
I think, there was a time, if you, I had been at central office for just a very short time, and as you know, Larry Pierce passed away, and then a couple of our directors, they left, and it was me and Annette was here. And I said, Annette, I have no idea what to do. And she said, don't worry, I'll walk you through it. I said, just keep us out of jail. And she did an excellent job.
Absolutely.
And so she does above and beyond. There's so many nights that we'll come around and start to turn the lights off, and her light's on, and she's still here, she's still working. And we have, with those federal projects and that federal money, there are so many hoops that you have to jump through, and we go into when they do an audit of us and they come and monitor us, we always have great marks because she's got everything in order. So tonight we're excited to.
Yes.
And she loves being in front of people too, you know. So, above and beyond for Thank you.
I have the privilege of introducing Alicia Pack. Alicia is the heart and soul of Grand Oaks Elementary School. When we were asked to write a brief paragraph describing her responsibilities, we were finding it very difficult to uphold to the word brief. We've done our best to honor Alicia with as few words as possible. So Alicia is our secretary, our bookkeeper, our receptionist, an accountant, the captain of our creative team, a skit and songwriter, a musical genius, a chief decorator, an assistant nurse, a smiling face to everyone that walks through our doors. She's always willing to lend a helping hand. She's a counselor, always willing to lend an empathetic ear, a shoulder to cry on, or an encouraging hug. She's a virtuoso, an expert in everything, and most of our kindergartners are pretty sure she's the principal. Our list could continue because she is the sole reason we are who we are at Grand Oaks, and I'm so thankful for her.
There was a time that I went down to Grand Oaks and I was looking at her and she's doing this. I'd point at the door and she'd do this again, and finally she went somewhere and I thought, well, she wouldn't let me in. She was trying to tell me the door doesn't work. I have to use the other door. But she's always a smiling face down there, does an amazing job, and it is true. There's so many things that go on during the day, that she takes care of and to allow Jessica and other people to do their job. So thank you for going above and beyond.
Thank Trina hired her too.
Yeah. You're 2 for 2 tonight.
I know.
So,
They're both great.
Catherine.
I have the privilege to introduce Carson Turner. While Carson Turner is not new to Anderson County, she's beginning her first year with the nursing department as a school nurse at Lake City Elementary. Even though Carson is very busy in the school health clinic, she works hard getting health literacy messaging to students. Carson makes every student feel welcome and supported in the clinic, and always has a beautiful smile. For each one. Carson truly provides support for every student every day. So we are very happy to have her.
If you know, if you're around elementary school, kids just bring everything in, they blow their noses on you, they do all their things. And it's like Grand Central Station in her office, so she does a great job, so thank you for going above and beyond. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Burrow.
Something good. We have both the fishing team and the volleyball team here tonight. You gonna-
Board, Dr. Burrow, thank you for giving us this time to recognize some special students and coaches at Anderson County High School. I want to start with the Anderson County High School fishing team. Coach Van Etten is going to come up and speak about these guys, and Storm, you and Tanner, come on up. If you haven't heard about their recent accomplishment, this is absolutely amazing, and hopefully you have, but if you haven't, you're getting ready to really be impressed with what happened with this fishing team and what they accomplished recently on a fishing trip.
Thank you. Well, I'm Will Van Etten. I'm the fishing coach at Anderson County. In case you can't tell, these guys brought home the hardware, but they also brought home $66,000 in scholarships to Bethel University. And kind of what they did is it's a national competition. Fishing University is a TV show that comes on the Outdoor Channel, and it's called Make Me a Star. And basically, they competed on social media by posting about other tournaments they compete in and things like that. And they were one of 2 boats in the United States that were selected to compete in this. And they got to go fish head-to-head on Kentucky Lake. And I'll let them kind of tell you a little bit about some of the stuff that happened. But, I mean, it was a huge deal. It was over how many days?
2 days of fishing.
2 days of fishing, and then how many days of shooting a TV show?
4 days, including our first night.
Yeah, so they shot a TV show for 4 days. They got to fish tournament-wise for 2 days. But go ahead, you guys have the floor.
Hey, and I just want to take a second here to introduce, just so you know them and know their name. This is Tanner Scruggs. Tanner is a junior at Anderson County High School, and Storm Klein, who is a senior at Anderson County High School. All right, go ahead, Tanner.
Tanner's my nephew too, so just to let you know.
Yeah, they have to miss quite a bit of school to go on these trips. A lot of times they start on Friday, but Tanner kind of has the excuse of the director of school, so usually no problems with him.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is we put in for July in this competition, and I mean we've been posting all through the summer, and he kind of like helped me a little bit about posting, and we posted how many pictures? I think I posted 300 and something pictures, and you posted what?
Close to 400, like 392.
Yeah. So I mean it took quite a bit of time to post them. And a lot of people kind of got mad at us because they'd be scrolling through their Instagram and just see us. But the fishing part was actually a lot of fun. We learned a lot through the fishing. I mean, fishing with 2 pros, I mean, you kind of have to learn something.
So when you went down and you met with the guys the first day, kind of tell them how it was broke down and like you guys had to fish with the pro, what the format was, and that sort of thing.
So the first day we went down there, we had to eat. Well, I say we have to, but we kind of wanted to. We wanted to eat a steak dinner with Charlie and Ray, which is the host of the shows, and everybody that helps put on the show. And we kind of met everybody, shook their hands, and then we went to Bethel University to do the coin toss and get all of our goodies from all the sponsors of Fishing University. And I think we probably got $800 worth of stuff, easy.
Yeah, if not better.
And So we did the coin toss, and we picked Ray Brazier, and he's a stellar guy. I mean, I couldn't say anything else about him. Could you?
Yeah, no, he's a phenomenal freshman. I mean, absolutely great guy. I mean, nothing more you can really say.
So the first night was really just filming, the opening the show and all that. And then the second day we went fishing. We probably started fishing by 8 o'clock, let's just say.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Because we had to wait on good camera light, and we had to wait for all of us to get mic'd up and everything. And so basically how the format is it's 2 days of fishing, but they make it look on TV as 1 day. So you catch your best 5 fish, and so we had 1238 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And so you catch your best 5 fish, but they make it look like 1 day, so you kind of have to talk about, like whenever you talk about your mornings and stuff, you have to make it sound like you're talking about earlier in the day, which we kind of messed up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. We'll say a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, overall it was a great experience, and we're kind of glad we got to do it. I mean, without all these people helping us and supporting us, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, don't forget to give a big shout out to the parents.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I think the thing with that too is they had, the show had 2 brand new boats, right? They had the boats there that you fished out of. You didn't have to take anything with you, did you?
No, we just took reels, and that was it.
I think they even gave you guys a lot of clothes and everything, didn't they?
Yeah.
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 Gave us like a $400 cooler too.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
And it's airing when?
In February,
On
Outdoor Channel.
Outdoor Channel.
Will you post that?
Yes, I will. I will make sure.
Good job, guys.
That's great. Good job.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, jump up there real quick.
You can do it.
What did the second place team win? What in scholarships?
$40,000.
40,000. So just getting in the competition was great.
Great job. Thank you.
Yeah, who would have thought you could get, $100 grand in scholarships and fishing?
Really?
It's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Second group we're going to recognize tonight is our volleyball team and coaches. They had a spectacular year. District champions, region champions, sectional champions, made it all the way to the state Final Four. And they had just an amazing year. So if the players that are here will come on up. Coach Smith, come on up. Coach Sewell, come on up. Coach Cantrell, come on up. I'm going to let Coach Cantrell do some talking, but the one thing I will mention, obviously this is not our entire team, but our girls are in club volleyball right now, playing competitive. And they practice on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Actually, Travis's 2 daughters play club volleyball, and I said, well, why don't we back it up till November or December's meeting? Like, no, they'll be practicing then. How about January's meeting? No, they'll be practicing then. February's meeting? No, they'll be practicing then. So these girls put a ton of time and effort into this program, into our school, this volleyball team, and their accomplishment this year is just amazing. And the great news is we return every single player next year. So we're going back and we're going to win a state championship.
I obviously talk to y'all all the time about how we have a hidden jewel in volleyball. Everybody looks at this area as obviously a football area, East Tennessee's football town, but to put it in perspective, this was their 20th state playoff. If you take Lake City, Norris, Clinton, Anderson County High School, all the sports, for the history of the schools, they've not been to 20 playoffs. They made it to their 11th Final Four this year. Like I said, won the district championship again. I've lost count how many districts we won. Won another regional championship in the history of the volleyball program. Going back to Norris High School, and volleyball started in '77 in the state of Tennessee. And Rita Hackler sued the state of Tennessee under Title IX to start volleyball because she said they needed to have it. Since 1977, Norris and Anderson County High School has only failed to make the regional semifinals 2 times. So in the history, you go back, that's 40-something years, think about that. If this were a football team that have a statue built out, everybody's name written down, They have produced 74 team All-State players, which is more than any two schools in Tennessee combined. And they've had 46 girls attend college on a volleyball scholarship. And like he said, this group, there are no seniors, and they're just fantastic. So, Leah, I'm gonna put you on the spot because you're the oldest that's here right now. If you will introduce your teammates that are not here, as well as those that are here. So we'll see what sort of, Leah is our starting libero, 2-year starting libero, and will be an all-state player and college volleyball player before she leaves. So the stud, take over.
Okay, well, our juniors are Bailey Wilder, she's at club right now, and Maddie Rowland, and Hannah Freeman, my sister, she's at club right now. That's all our juniors are.
No.
Chelsea Marlowe, she's at club right now. And then we got a
You're forgetting the big one.
I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Morgan, the really tall one with really long legs, she's at club right now. And then sophomores, I'm a sophomore, I'm Leah. And then Jace Brayton, she's at club right now. Erin Cantrell, girl's daughter, she's at club right now. And then that's all our sophomores. And then freshmen, we have Anna Kay Smith, she's a freshman, and Nike Edmondson, and Sydney, and then Kayla. So that's our team.
And we had injuries kind of plague us at the start of the year. We lost a couple of players preseason to season-ending injuries. Every single person played varsity minutes this year. We played them all. And he's right, we'll win a state championship next year. We got it, so.
Good.
Coach Smith, you got anything?
No, thank you.
That's about the most I ever get out of her. Randy, you got anything? Randy's giving herself a new nickname, girls, for next year. She wants to be called Thunder Bunny. So.
He doesn't stop on me.
Thank y'all for giving us time to recognize these special students and coaches. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, thank you for what they do. They are an amazing group. I saw them in a few matches, and it's amazing how those girls play as a team. And
Well, and I want to compliment you for coming. I mean, I've had directors never darken the door at the gym. They'll come to a football game, they won't walk in the door. You came to multiple matches, and Mr. Downs was at every state playoff and tournament game that we had. We got great support from the administration, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And I think thanks to the board too, you allowed them to where they didn't have to spend all their time raising money. You allowed them to have some money to go to the state tournament. So thank you all for that. Yes.
Good group.
Yes. All right. That's all I've got.
Okay, persons to be heard. Being none, approval of the agenda.
Move we approve.
Second.
Move to second, approval of the agenda, discussion. Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, motion carries. Approval of consent agenda, so moved.
Could I see, scrolling down there just a second. One, could I offer us a change on the consent agenda? Policy number 1.1021 needs to be 1.2021.
Okay. Pam's behind the screen. I'll make that note. It's supposed to be what?
1.2021.
1.2021. Okay, I will make that change.
No, I'll second this motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded with that change on the agenda, consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no, motion carries. Executive approval, again, this month we had none. Comments from the chair? Are we all set for the TSBA?
Yes.
Hope so. If not, it's too late.
You know I'm not going.
Yes.
Okay. Sick leave incentive. Tonight I have Stacy Turner, CMS teacher.
I have Janice Ruffner, Lake City Elementary, food service.
I have Paula Patterson, who is Clinton Middle School educational assistant.
And I have Judy Bray. She's the food service manager at Briceville.
And I have Shannon Smith, Anderson County Career and Technical Center teacher.
I have Ezekiel Sloss, the Clinton Middle School band teacher.
I have Wade Henry, Haney, excuse me, Director of Technology.
I have Tanya Gossett, Lake City Middle School teacher.
Okay. Other than that, and the TSBA meeting, which I'm sorry I cannot attend, but I have a medical meeting I have to go to. Any other comments? If not, comments from the student school board member.
I have your next report on Anderson County High School. Over the past month at Anderson County High School, our football team has become the district champions and are going to the playoffs. We won our first game of the playoff, and Friday night we play Greenville again.
Now, that is at home.
Yes, it is at
Okay.
home. And kickoff is at 7 o'clock because it is a playoff game. I would highly encourage y'all to come. Anderson County football games are excellent places to be. Other things that have happened in Anderson County, not in football, Maggie Nash received the Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award for her dependability, leadership, service, and patriotism. She will move on to compete at a state level. And on November 24th, the AC cheerleader team will be performing at halftime of the Tennessee Titans game in Nashville. And on Monday, our Scholars Bowl team competes in the Smart 16 after defeating Science Hill. And that will air sometime around February on PBS. And that is all past month at Anderson County High School.
Thank you.
I have a question. Speaking of the ball game Friday night, is that supposed to be on WVLT?
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say. It is on WVLT, my VLT on Friday night, Mark Packers doing it
Okay.
on Friday night.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
But still come to support the Mavericks
Absolutely.
live.
Yes. Nothing like being live.
That's right.
Director's report.
Thank you, Dr. Burrow. The first thing, if I could, Julie Minton, if you would stand up. As you know, we had Jim decided to retire on us, and his last day was last Wednesday, and Julie Minton has stepped into this role. Julie has been with us for 10 years. She comes with a wealth of knowledge from the state auditors, and we talk about, she did a little internship at Oak Ridge. We don't like to talk about a lot, but anyway, Julie's done a fantastic job with our federal projects and everything that's with that. She's gonna step right in. As we say, we're gonna take it into the 21st century, and she also has to take her place is Marcus Bullock. He is a hometown boy. Dale probably knows him because he goes to church at Second Baptist, and he has a wealth of knowledge. He is a go-getter. His mind goes in 100 different places, but he's great with technology. He has a degree in accounting. He's working on his master's degree right now in business, and so we're excited to have Julie with us. She missed Monday night's meeting, but we've already started meeting with Scott, and I think it's going to be a great thing. So I want to thank her for stepping into that position. The other thing I just want to say tonight, if I could, I'd like to have my district leadership that's here, if you all will stand up, all of my district directors. So as you know, U-Trust, they do a thing for the director of schools, but they never do anything for the system directors. So this year I got with Pam and I said, Pam, we want to change that. I said, the director of schools always gets that recognition, but we want to recognize them. So tonight, if I could, we've got an amazing group. They work tirelessly on this, and so I just want to give them some recognition, and we want to thank Lake City tomorrow. Y'all need to be at Lake City at 8 o'clock. They're going to be presenting you with something, so I've told you on the air now, you can't forget it, right? So this is a great group here, so I just want to give them a hand for what work they do. Kelly and Johnny, we had some fun times on Monday night about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to figure out if we were gonna have school or not. And I tell you, it just, those decisions are not easy. And at 5 o'clock, it was okay. We were thinking we were gonna have school, and 15 minutes later, everything was covered, and it was coming down like somebody was pepper shaking it. So I think we had a good decision and got through that, and nobody got hurt.
Well, Andrea tried to tell you the night before. We were sitting there and she
Yep.
was telling you. And
I
you
know it,
listened.
I know it. So,
Johnny did a good job on TV driving down the road.
yeah, yeah. The other thing, with that, there are some changes, to our organizational chart. That is online. You can pull that up. As you know, Jim was over the, operations, and now that is not going to be under Julie. That's coming under mine and Greg's office. So, and I say this, you know, we've been so blessed here. When people go into new positions, they never miss a beat. They do an amazing job. And with Julie and with Clay this year and with Ryan, with Wade and with Ryan, all these new people, and it is so great that they've been with the school system for a long time and they can move right into those positions and they can be productive right off the bat. So that is not only for what we've done, is for the people that were before us that built those leaders, and I want to thank you all for that. The only other thing I have, which is I want to talk about, which is, as you know, if a child's not healthy, if they're not getting the right food, if there's some struggles in their life, they don't really worry about how they're doing on a test. And we've got a fantastic group with Catherine Price and Anna Hurt, so they're going to come and try to give you they are going to give you some updates on how things are going with that program.
I'm Catherine, if you don't know me, sorry. And I'm over the nurses, and so I'm gonna go over some things here with you first. Okay. And if you've never met our nursing team, please, if you're ever at a school, please introduce yourself to one of the nurses. We have a fabulous group of nurses at our school system. Our group involves 4 RNs, 10 LPNs, 1 LPN at Head Start, and then me. And we work great together. We have a fabulous team. We provide the medical services to all of our students in Anderson County. Our services may include diabetic procedures, intermittent catheterizations, tube feeds, medication administration, also emergency management, daily health assessments to promote well-being, health education. That's a huge thing. To provide to staff, students, and even parents. Immunization compliance, that takes a lot of our time, especially at the beginning of the year for kindergartners, and then also 7th grade immunizations. And then also, we have a year-end state report. Each of our school nurses have to complete at the end of the year, that we have to get all of our data of all the students that we've seen, any kind of information that the state needs to know. And then we also are in 504 and IEP meetings that have any kind of health-related needs. And so also when I talk about emergency management, as you know, that we have stock EpiPens in our school system. And so sometimes when we do training, you know, at the beginning of the year, a lot of the staff is like, oh, this is silly, why are we doing this? And then I wanted to make y'all aware, you know, just last year, we used 3 stock EpiPens in the school system. That's huge, to 3 unknown allergies. So, and then this year alone, we've already used 1. So those are unknown allergies that we're using these stock EpiPens for. So I always like to make all these staff aware, hey, look, you might need to use that. You just never know. And so, let's see, I want to make y'all aware. Here are our school clinic visits. So, as you can see, we are showing an upward trend every year. I also have shown y'all here that it's really important that we look at that number of the return to class because having a school nurse in your building we want to look at that number of return to class, because if we're seeing those students, we can assess them, see what's going on, and get them back into that classroom, because we don't want them missing classroom time. So as of right now, our school nurses have already seen 17,000 just for these past few months. So we're already showing a huge increase in numbers as of this year.
Can I say something right
yes.
there? There is a lot of our students that the only medical care they get is what they get at the schools.
Absolutely.
They send them to school sick
Mhm.
sometimes because they can't afford to go to the doctor, and this staff does an amazing job on that. So, and she's right, there's not a time that I've ever been that a nurse is just sitting there. They've always got somebody in there or somebody there ready to go in.
Or they may not even have a thermometer
Yes.
at their house that they can even check their temperature. I mean, that happens all the time, and so some people get mad, hey, why are you sending your kid to school that has a temperature? Well, they don't have a thermometer to even check it at home. So as you can see, like as of in 2018 and 19, we saw 44,750 clinic visits. Our return to class number was 41,638, which is pretty, I mean, that's very good. Because we want to get them back into class if possible. Those are our medication numbers that we're providing. So that is definitely an increase. As of in 1920 this year, we're already at 5,203. So we are looking at an increase in number there. So last year was at 14,000. Those are medical management plans that we're doing. So seizure action plans, we did 35 in the system this year as of right now, because of course we can always get needs throughout the year, so we're always going to do a new plan. Asthma action plans, we did 123 so far, and 253 individual health care plans. Kick-it sessions. So this is a very interesting number. So in 2017, we did 19, 2018, 19, we did 18, and then as of right now, 2019 to 20, we have done 18 so far. So we have already topped last year's number. And that number right there shows our increased number due to that vaping epidemic. Our nurses do kick-it sessions to students that are, have violated the tobacco, nicotine-related policy. They provide 4 sessions to the students in their clinic that last about 10 to 15 minutes. So they sit down and go over some things, and so.
Well, and we're also rolling out vaping prevention classes in the high schools and the middle schools as well. Middle school is focused more on prevention efforts, and the curriculum has been revised in high school for cessation, because current statistics show that 1 in every 4 students are vaping.
I just wanted to brag on the nurses here and show you our nurses are educating our students and staff on healthy topics in the schools to support our state standards. So they're doing various ways of educating and keeping our students educated and staff. This is something I wanted to show you also is our nurses are not only in the clinic, they're also in the classroom supporting health and wellness. And so this is just a little video Nurse Sheena did over at Grand Oaks. Let me show you here real quick. It's just a few seconds.
Have you ever played with a glow bug or a glow? Have you ever played with a black light? Have you ever been bowling? Did you wear something white? Well, we are going to play with a black light today. We're going to see what our hands look like.
It's all right.
Put your hands really good, and we'll come back and see it and it'll look better. Sound like a plan? All right. Can you sing here? Can you sing my hands here? It smells good.
just want to tell you, thank you so much. We're very fortunate to have nurses in most of our schools. If we didn't, we wouldn't be able to get kids back in the classes. So it really does make a difference is having our nurses to be there, and also a big difference I know in the front office. I mean, because if not, it would be left up to the front office to be assessing these kids, and so we really do appreciate it.
One thing before Ms. Hurd starts, the BEP is really, we get funded on one nurse for every 3,000 students. So we get 2.2 nurses. And as you know, you saw that we've got about 16. And the state is looking at trying to drop that down to 1 to 700, which what it would do, we would get more funding, but hopefully, I think the way it's going, me and Mr. Deal have had this talk many years. It's going to get to the point where we're going to need a nurse in every school because there are so many different medications that these students are taking at a younger age. We have a lot of students that come in that were either their parents were on drugs or these opioids and things like that. So it is out there, and we know that if we're going to have success with every student every day, we're going to have to do a better job. We're doing a great job. We're going to have to do a better job trying to fill in those cracks for the parents, because a lot of the parents are grandparents. We have a lot of great grandparents, and they don't have the insurance, and these students are uninsured. So I want to thank Catherine and her group. They do an amazing job with that.
I've got a question. I'm a big advocate for CPR and child CPR training, Heimlich maneuver training. Since I took that, I've had to use it twice in the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years. Does our school system have, through the American Red Cross or someone else, know there's changes in that? Do we have training for that?
Well, Anna supports that with the CPR. Of course, our nurses are, but you support that with training the schools and getting somebody in to help.
It's kind of a catch-22. My program, the fiscal responsibility precludes me from purchasing anything with CPR. So I'm pretty good at borrowing anything I can do. We have partnered with Children's Hospital. They charge $5 per card. They used to do it at no cost, but because everything costs the system something. So we've also partnered with the local EMS, and we're working diligently in getting more and more people trained. It's a cost factor, unfortunately.
Sure. I think it's very well worth it, and maybe up to about 3 years ago, I might not have felt as strong, but I think all our staff, support staff and everything needs to be trained in that, because you never know when, as Dr. Burrell knows, we all know, you never know when you're gonna have to use it.
Same thing with our AEDs.
Right.
We've had experience with AEDs in the school system saving lives. So this is kind of the state's overview of coordinated school health. I won't read that for you. It is on the coordinated school health page under the district's website. But basically, coordinated school health complements nursing. We're kind of like the health department. We do more on the prevention side of identifying health disparities, where the nursing services addresses those health disparities once they're diagnosed. That comes through the form of health screenings. I screen roughly 2,300 to 2,500 students per year in even grades. That's what the state requires me to screen, is K2, 4, 6, 8, and 1 grade of high school. In high school, all we really look at is BMI and blood pressure. We can expand those screenings, but again, that comes with time and pulling people out of class. Anytime we've identified someone that may have a visual disturbance or a hearing disturbance, we can always screen those students as well. Kind of give you a quick overview of what the health screening statistics look like. This is kind of a moving number, and once we send in our data to the state, they scrub the data and then they send it to the Tennessee Department of Health. They do a few things with it, and it inevitably winds up with the Centers for Disease Control. And they look at funding for health disparities in the certain regions and areas. So obesity is our big issue. It was on the news recently. I think Tennessee is now number 4, number 5 maybe. Louisiana and Mississippi always leads the way, and I'm sure they're very proud of that. So Tennessee does not want to be proud of that. And with the new commissioner has the whole child approach. We had our regional health meeting the other day, and the big focus is the whole child. And so a lot of the coordinated school health folks from 25 districts that met were very concerned. We're always concerned when you have a change, but we were told that the new commissioner really supports healthcare. So that's a good sign for schools and coordinated school health. But to let you know, the last year's statistics, we referred approximately 57 students for hypertension. We had roughly 226 students referred for visual fails as well. We have partnered this year. I am so excited to partner with the Lions Club. They normally only screen pre-K and K, but I don't know if it was my sad face or what, but they are helping me screen all the way through 8th grade this year. So we are really finding a lot more fails. But the nice part with the Lions Club, they're there to help get visits and get glasses, in addition to the vision certificates that we get through the National Association of School Nurses as well. Give you a little update on the flu clinics. We did last year approximately 1,127 flu vaccines, and roughly 193 students and 5 staff members were uninsured. I know under the Affordable Care Act, we think everyone has health insurance. That is still not the case. We have worked diligently. I have a wonderful donor who gave us roughly $7,000 in vaccine last year. This year it was roughly $5,000 in vaccine for our uninsured staff and students. My goal has been to minimize the fiscal impact to the district through having to purchase flu vaccines. We're right in the middle of flu vaccines this year. So far we have vaccinated 557 students. I was trying to crunch the numbers before I got here. Those are still a little fluid. We did go to an electronic consent form this year, and when I was looking at the numbers from paper forms to forms this year, we are pretty much neck and neck. Some schools may have gone up, other schools may have gone down, but we're still seeing a good response. And next year, these will be offered at the beginning of school, so we will have a good 2.5-month head start on electronic forms. The unfortunate part is parents don't really, guardians, grandparents don't understand the part of where insurance goes. So we're going to work hard on helping them find that information so the pharmacies can bill for those. And again, keeping it zero fiscal impact to the school district. To let you know, coordinated school health, since I came into this role, I bring in between grants and in-kind funding for services. Kind of gives you a little bit of idea on how much money that the district did not incur through services that we've provided from preventive services. So it kind of goes up and down. Roughly about $500,000 for the last 3 years. This year I'm still working on all those awesome services. Looking at the BMI rates, the reason I highlighted the top one, that is the benchmark year that the state looks at. Anderson County had roughly a 42% BMI, overall BMI for the district. That has gone up and down. Basically, elementary has dropped a little over 2%. The bad part is, as they hit middle and high school, it goes back up by about 2%. But we are still overall trending down, and we're trying to increase more physical activity. And you guys know that. You see those policies come through, and they want to increase physical activity, but you try to find the minutes in those days where you can pull from instruction. So you're gonna work towards a moving classroom is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna have to ride a bike while you're reading a book. That's the only way I know to get that in and not disrupt instruction.
Do it at the gym.
The last thing that I'll talk about is vaping. Vaping is such an issue in not only our county. Unfortunately, from a public health perspective, the CDC is way behind the 8 ball on this. They should have been on this about 6 or 7 years ago. And Jewel has been one of the biggest benefactors of this unfortunate epidemic that we're facing, because their goal, whether they say this or not, is to hook about 6th grade. That is their customer base. And when those of us that are old enough remember the old Marlboro Man, and when people started smoking, you think about they 12, 13 years old when most kids in that day and age tried cigarettes. So we're working towards educating our students to understand all the chemicals that are in vaping products. It is not just water and vapor.
They did a survey of some parents, and I read a report, and 60% of the parents that they surveyed marked that there was nothing wrong with vaping. It was perfectly safe. They didn't understand why there was such a big deal in it. And that's what we've got to do well, they're not smoking, but the things they're putting in their lungs are not, there's no, they can put anything, there's no regulations for it. The FDA doesn't regulate it, so we've got to do that. And we catch them, we've got to, as again, going into the 21st century, we're looking at a product that you can put in the bathrooms that will detect that vape. You know, it's kind of like the principal. You know, you can smell that tobacco smoke. Well, you can't smell this. There's no smell to it, but there's some kind we can put, it's got a little sniffer in it that can catch these
There's certain
kids.
chemicals that it will detect.
We got to be smarter than the kids.
There's really bad things in vaping. There's diacetyl, acetaldehyde, formaldehyde. I could go on and on. People just don't realize. And now we've got an issue with people modifying the vaping devices. And it's not just marijuana that we're seeing being modified. They're cutting them so you can sell more nicotine, but unfortunately, I call it the Breaking Bad issue, because we've got someone that has a little bit of knowledge. And so you're my friend, I'm gonna trust you. Here, you and I are gonna share a vape, and we both have a lung disease. And it has now a formal title from CDC. It's EVALI. It's electronic vaping acute lung infection is what it is now called. There was a 16-year-old yesterday that had to have a double lung transplant or he would have died as a result of vaping. We hope those are the people that will help us educate, because they look at us like we're old and we don't know what we're talking about, unfortunately. So it will be peer-to-peer that will have to be successful.
Thank you.
But I really appreciate your time.
Yep. Any questions?
A question about the flu vaccines. You got $5,000 in donations.
Yes.
Do you use the child's family's insurance if the family has insurance?
Yes.
You do bill
We are able
them?
to bill for those. The pharmacies will submit the claim form for that. And what we don't use is donated to Oak Ridge Free Medical to continue that. That is my promise to the donor.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. David Jefferson.
No, I just want to make the comment that these two ladies, I work with them on a regular basis. They display so much initiative and do things on their own without being told what to do in the interest of children's health in this county. They do a wonderful job. Ms. Hurt is out pestering people at different pharmacies, trying to get flu vaccinations. She's transporting kids to the dental clinic to get their teeth worked on. And I don't see her hardly ever, unless she needs me to sign something or wants something. But she's out there doing all this work without anybody telling her specifically what to do. And the same thing goes with Catherine. These ladies do a fantastic job, and I just want you all to know how much they're appreciated by me.
Thank you, Mr. David.
And they're
Thank you
gonna
all.
be busy in the next couple of months.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have, Dr. Burrow.
I notice our board attorney has arrived, and I think he has a request.
Good evening. I'm here to ask you all if we could possibly go into an executive session for a few minutes to discuss some pending litigation.
Okay. We will. It's all set up in
My office. Yep. Mr., we've got, Johnny's back there he's gonna do a guitar while you're gone, so.
too many decades, Tennessee has ranked in the bottom 10 among the least healthy states. But because thousands of people across the state are joining the movement to be more active, eat better, and reduce tobacco use, we are creating a healthier Tennessee. That movement has taken hold here in Anderson County, where a local committee has led a grassroots effort to achieve the Governor's Foundation for Health and Wellness Healthier Tennessee community designation.
Active Anderson was lucky enough to receive funding from the Healthier Tennessee Communities Initiative. With the support of community programs, we are looking to increase healthy physical activity, better nutrition, including run clubs and competitive track events, gardening, tobacco education, and focusing on prevention of new smokers.
This movement doesn't end with the designation. In fact, it's only building. To get involved with the Active Anderson Committee, visit facebook.com/ActiveAndersonTN.
We are ASAP of Anderson. We are celebrating 10 years of prevention, powered by more than 11,000 hours given by volunteers like you. Together, we've reduced underage substance misuse in our county by 53.5%. Our brand has changed, but our mission remains the same. Prevention works.
too many decades, Tennessee has ranked in the bottom 10 among the least healthy states. But because thousands of people across the state are joining the movement to be more active, eat better, and reduce tobacco use, we are creating a healthier Tennessee. That movement has taken hold here in Anderson County, where a local committee has led a grassroots effort to achieve the Governor's Foundation for Health and Wellness Healthier Tennessee Community Designation.
Active Anderson was lucky enough to receive funding from the Healthier Tennessee Communities Initiative. With the support of community programs, we are looking to increase healthy physical activity, better nutrition, including run clubs and competitive track events, gardening, tobacco education, and focusing on prevention of new smokers.
This movement doesn't end with the designation. In fact, it's only building. To get involved with the Active Anderson Committee, visit facebook.com/ActiveAndersonTN.
We are ASAP of Anderson. We are celebrating 10 years of prevention, powered by more than 11,000 hours given by volunteers like you. Together, we've reduced underage substance misuse in our county by 53.5%. Our brand has changed, but our mission remains the same. Prevention works.
We didn't really
Okay.
adjourn, like.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Back in session, and thank everybody for staying.
Dr. Burrow, I have a motion that I would like to make. We met in executive session to discuss pending litigation. One of the matters was a request to honor Dr. Parrott's decision, or to support Dr. Parrott's decision to terminate a tenured employee after consulting with the board attorney. I move that we support Dr. Parrott's decision to terminate a tenured employee.
Second.
Moving second that we support Dr. Parrish' decision to terminate a tenured employee. Discussion. Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Committee reports. Building and ground.
Well, I wasn't here Monday night, looks like they took care of it, but, Building Grounds Committee met and they called the meeting to order at 6:28, to discuss the proposed ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan for our schools. Said that the ESG project has uncovered several concerns we may have and had with the ADA, and there are no major issues. Our buildings are very accessible. However, Mr. Hillen have worked to provide a plan for those areas that will be needed to be addressed. Do we need a motion on that?
Yeah, and this is over the next few years what we're gonna do. Clay and his group worked on that. So,
Okay.
yeah, we really just need to get it in there because that's part of it. We're gonna be under the county's ADA transition plan. They had a group come in, and a lot of the places where we really needed to have some upgrades was where the voting precincts were. So we're gonna do that. A lot of the stuff is on our first year we've already done. So we can, yes, just a motion to put this into the.
Minutes?
Yep.
I so move then.
Second.
Moving second that we approve or accept the ADA transition plan as presented. Discussion. Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Personnel Committee.
I don't think we have to do that now since you.
Okay. Budget Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Budget Committee met Monday night. We just had a few items, and for the sake of time, I won't go over them unless people have questions. We did go over them individually Monday night. The big one is the school resource officer grant, $455,000 to put resource officers in our schools. The other big one there at the top is the TCAT building rental from the state. That's 28,209. Are there questions about any of those? Not, these have been before the Budget Committee, and they recommended to the full board for approval, and I so move.
Second.
Move second to approve
1A through 1E.
1A through 1E appropriations. Roll call vote.
Mr. Bell? Mr. Cantrell?
Yes.
Mr. Gillen-Waters?
Aye.
Ms. Langdenberg?
Aye.
Mr. McCamey?
Aye.
Ms. Portwood?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
And Dr. Burrow?
Aye.
The motion carries. 8 yes votes.
Next item was approval of the transfers. Again, those are pretty standard. There's a post-employment benefits there. The very first one, there's $300,000, which is just not in our original budget, but that's in and out money. And the second item there is the $400,000. That's for the one-to-one project from the county commission. Any questions about any of the others? If not, these were approved by the Budget Committee and recommended for approval, and I so move.
Second.
Moving second, we approve transfers 2A through 2H.
Correct.
we might state that the $400,000, for the one-on-one project was what the county owed us.
Right.
Yes.
Part of what they owe.
The last
Part of
payment,
it.
the last payment.
Yeah.
And it's running through the debt service?
Debt
is that
service,
right?
yes.
Other discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
That is all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Joe, Rossi.
Policy Committee also met on Monday night, and it's quite lengthy.
I yield my time to you.
And I'm gonna yield it back to you. We have about 8 policies here, but I have had a request to pull out one policy, 6.411, student wellness. So with the board's permission, I would put this one on hold till we meet again. As far as the other policies, we discussed these in depth Monday night, and if there's no objection to the board, I will recommend we approve them with the information we received Monday night on first reading.
Second.
Moves, we approve on first reading, policy 1.106, 3.201, 4.201, 4.502, and 4.608.
No, there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
6.200,
This is the 4.
That's the one we're holding.
I'm sorry,
That's the one we're holding, the next one, 6.4. So
okay,
go down.
6.411
Is gonna be tabled.
to be tabled, and 6.600, 6.709. 6.44, 6.411 will be tabled.
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to do that in a separate motion?
This is just a committee report, and in my committee report, I said we will hold it. I didn't make a motion either way on that one.
Why are we on?
I have a request for further review on it.
We need to do some more work on it before we bring it to you.
Okay.
Okay. To make it clean, let's have a motion to table 6.411.
I move that we table 6.411.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do I hear a motion that we approve the additional?
Yeah, Joe made the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Move second, we approve the other policies that were listed before. Discussion. Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Action item.
The only other thing we have tonight, Dr. Burrow, is to approve the tenure list.
Do we have to do that tonight? Because I haven't seen it.
This is, these people have, they have the scores to be on tenure. They have to get a 4 or a 5 in the last 4 or 5 in year 4 and 5.
Mhm.
So we just got the scores this month, so that's why we brought them to you. This is where it's on our thing to do.
Can you read those?
I can. Lauren Fogarty, Kimberly Irwin, Melody McDonald's, Charlene Sanders, Oda Bohannon, that's McCall Bohannon, is Charles Cannon, Steve Dalton, Shannon Foster, Joseph Scarpano, Lindsay Nichols, Alicia Braden, Sean Jesse, Courtney McCullum, Paula Marshall, Jennifer Bruner, David Gillum, Maribeth Higgins, Kevin Powers, James Davis, Jessica Harris, Lauren Sharon, Madison Jones, Michelle Llewellyn, Kimberly Lynch, Lori Hill, Brad Collette, Carrie Hobby, and Candace Walker.
Are you recommending those for ten? I
Yes.
so move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moving second, we approve the above named individuals for tenure.
The problem with the way the state does it now is that when that person works that first day of the next year, by our MOU, they have tenure. But we don't know that until they get the score, so now they work for us 4 months, so it puts you in a catch-22 if we don't.
But previously, we required to take them to the board.
Yep, well, you still have to, but it's crazy the way that we get the score so late after they've already worked 5 months.
So
I
then
mean, we used to
there's
have-
60 of them.
Yeah, they used to do it in April because it was, we brought them to you and
year.
everything, but now it's more if they get if they're still working for us and they get the scores, then they're pretty automatic, but you still have to approve it. So,
Is that when you used to bring them in and come in here?
yes, and what we do with these now is we will recognize them with certificates. Once you approve this at our teacher celebration, we'll call them all up front and we'll give them their pin, their tenure pin, and we'll do that.
Is there any way we could get the list prior to the board?
Yes, I mean, I had it on the board agenda, it was on the agenda,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Other discussion?
But it was only, when was it posted? I've had a busy week and I didn't even see it.
We posted it, when, Pam, last Friday?
No.
It was posted Monday.
Monday.
I know I saw it, I didn't remember what day.
I hadn't seen it.
Other discussion? Not, all in favor say
I
aye.
don't know if we got a motion or not, did we?
Somebody.
Yeah, we got a
Andy made a
Okay.
motion.
I second.
Okay, good deal. We're trying to keep notes.
Yeah, let's do it legal.
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Why we've got one up there that's hired in '09 and just now getting tenure?
That's
You're just
because
asking-
they were probably in a school that didn't have good scores. And after 5 years, you still got to get 2
And then we
years with a
got-
4 and a 5.
There's a whole bunch of them right there.
Yes. So,
Well, they're punished then.
That's your 10 years.
yep.
Teachers are punished
Yeah.
because of the school, not the teacher.
Well, the school, yeah, they have to, the only way you can get it with that new one, they have to be a level 4 or 5 teacher in 2 years in a row. Yep.
I've never met it.
Well, the state's taking over.
Yeah,
Willisville.
the state has taken over that. Yep.
Okay, anything else? No meetings to be set? If not, we're adjourned.
And Dr.
Paula,
Phil, you know, you said if
I
you
know
ever
you
went
wanna
over
go
there,
home,
you
but I
was
need
gonna
to
find
ask
the
you
discipline.
Do what?
If you ever went over an hour, I was gonna get fired, so I apologize.
Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, that's.